Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're doing a recipe video today using a little bit of tofu, and we're going to be doing this in the oven. We're going to be baking it. So with this particular recipe, I just want to throw this out there. I don't normally eat it right out of the oven. I'll usually taste it out of the oven, but usually I'll put it in the fridge overnight and use it the next day or the following days. It seems to taste better. It's easier to cut and stuff like that when it's cold. So this is more of a video where you're making some prepared tofu that you can then use later in some dishes. I'll throw up some examples here on the screen so you can kind of see what I use it for. Noodle salads, stir fries, sandwiches, stuff like that. It more or less will just give you some tofu that you can grab out of the fridge and use right away, and it's already got great flavor packed into it, and you don't have to spend a lot of time, doing all that work, cooking it and stuff like that. So with that said, let's get into the video. This is the tofu that I'm going to be using for this recipe. It's the Fountain of Health Extra Firm tofu, which is available at Costco, although you can use whatever tofu you can get your hands on. Okay, so first we're going to prepare our tofu. We're going to wrap it in this towel, and you want to set something heavy on top if you don't have a tofu press, which I do not. So I'm going to be using my mortar and pestle here, which is pretty dang heavy. It's made out of marble, and it does a pretty good job of draining the water or squeezing the water out of the tofu. So I'm going to let this sit here for, usually I do this for about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what tofu I'm using. This brand of tofu that I'm using here doesn't have a whole lot of water in it. It's pretty dense, so I'm only using this for about 30 minutes here to get all the water out that I can. Alright, well, every good recipe starts with garlic. So in this case we're using 8 grams, basically 8 small cloves of garlic. If you have larger cloves, I would say use 4 or 5 larger cloves. Next up, fresh ginger, using 12 grams of fresh ginger here. 1/4 cup of agave nectar. 1/4 cup low sodium soy sauce. You can also use coconut aminos if you prefer that. 1/4 cup vegetable broth. 1 teaspoon sesame oil. 1 tablespoon seasoned rice vinegar. Now here I have a container of pineapple, but I'm not using the pineapple itself. I'm just using 1 tablespoon of the pineapple juice. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of gochujang paste, basically a fermented red pepper paste. Although if you don't have this, you can definitely use sambal oelek or sriracha sauce. Either one's fine. 1 teaspoon of lime juice. And here I just have a small little handful, maybe 4 or 5 fresh Thai basil leaves from out of my herb garden. And now that everything's in our food processor, we're gonna go ahead and blend this really well. Now that everything's all blended together, we're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds. Okay, so the tofu is ready to go. We're gonna take it out of the towel here and cut it up into smaller pieces. Usually I do about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Really, you could do whatever size you like. And we're gonna put our tofu into a container for marinating. We're gonna add our marinade. We got 1 cup of marinade, so I'm gonna add about half of what I made here, and then I'm gonna save half in the fridge for another batch down the road. We're gonna end up marinating this for about 1 to 2 hours. Usually the longer the better, of course, but if you're a little pinched on time, you can definitely get away with doing 30 minutes to an hour, either way. Okay, now we're getting ready to bake this. I'm just putting the pieces out on this baking sheet here. Now after you take the tofu out, you're gonna wanna save the marinade that the tofu was in, because halfway through you're gonna wanna put a little bit more of the marinade over the tofu, just to give it a little more flavor and a little darker coloration as it bakes. We're gonna bake at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Then we're gonna take it out and apply more marinade. After that, we're gonna bake it again for another 30 minutes, but we're gonna drop it down to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And here we go. This is after our 1 hour of baking. Everything looks good. It's got a nice dark color to it. You can definitely see all the sesame seeds on there, which is gonna add a little bit of crunch and a little bit of flavor to the tofu. Now this tofu, I don't normally eat right out of the oven. I usually put it in a container, put it in the fridge, and then use it later down the road. You can use this tofu out of the fridge for several days. And once again, just like I showed at the beginning of the video, here's a few meal ideas that you can use this tofu for. And it's nice because the tofu is already prepared. All you got to do is cut it up and add it to whatever you're cooking. So again, cold noodle salads, rice and veggie bowls, stir fries, sandwiches. We love to use this on sandwiches quite a bit actually. Makes for a great protein-packed, filling, vegan meat substitute basically for sandwiches. You can add it on top of salads if you're looking to add a little bit more texture to your salads, make them a little more filling, or if you're somebody who's trying to get some more protein in or more calories in general. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button if you like this video and you want to see more recipe videos just like it. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed and you want to support this channel. Subscribing to this channel is definitely always free, and it will help keep this channel going and ensure that more videos will be coming out. And we're also getting closer to our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Again, I want to thank everybody who's subscribed recently. Really appreciate all the support. All right, guys, that does it for this episode. Till next time, take care.